Jump into the Facebook ads library and see that people are running 300 ads at once, and the wheels in your head naturally start to turn, and you start thinking about how the heck you're going to pull off running this many ad variations by yourself, let alone where to get that kind of budget to make this work. And when your mind starts to spiral like this, I really encourage you to just stop, breathe, and regroup. These guys likely have a team of managers and copywriters and designers and photographers and everyone that is working really hard behind the scenes of these ads, not to mention probably quite big budgets and years of experience. And while you might be in a position to have a team and have this kind of complexity eventually, in my experience, it's always best for you to start small, test what works, what doesn't, and then expand your campaigns once they're really profitable for you and you can reinvest into some more complexity within your marketing strategy. Because when you're still figuring out what's working and what isn't, the worst thing you can do is stretch your time and your budget really thin between 5 and 10 campaigns and hundreds of ads, and suddenly you're really lost in what's actually happening and what's working and what isn't. And this is quite common for Facebook ad marketers as a mistake that they make in creating this kind of elaborate monster, because that's what they think they have to do in order to be successful, and it makes it quite difficult to track. So over the next few lessons, what we're going to be focusing on is different ways that you can simplify things before you go into how to measure things and test things and optimize them as well. So as promised, let's first talk about how you can simplify things a little bit based on your budget and what I would call my business readiness checklist, as in, is your business ready to start collecting leads? This means that you have a hyper-organized email marketing system in place, you have a tried and tested free offer, a nurture sequence in place that your audience receives after they sign up for your free offer to get to know your business, all of that stuff that's going to allow for a really good customer experience once they sign up. Then it's important for you to answer whether or not you actually have something to sell to your audience yet, or you're ready to pre-sell a paid product or offer to your audience. It doesn't have to be live yet, but you have to be ready to start collecting money for something. And number 3, do you have a solid organic following and engagement already? So remember that paid ads only really amplify what's going on in your business already. So you need to have a pretty solid foundation in place so that you know exactly what is resonating with your target market and what is getting them to buy from you. And the best way to do that is to get a few organic runs on the board in terms of getting people onto your email list and getting them to buy from you organically before doing this with paid ads. If you answered no to these questions and you might also be working with a limited budget, you may want to focus on a really simple audience building strategy that I'm going to be taking you through first. And if you answered yes to all of these things, then you might still want to have something like this running at all times that is going to help you to build up a warm audience so that the next time you have a new webinar or new offer or new product or just a new thing to promote to your audience, you're going to have that warm audience there ready to jump on this new thing that you want to promote to them. So let's get into what I'm talking about next. For those of you familiar with the stages of a sales funnel, you will likely know these stages by their funnel names, which is top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. Or you might have heard people talk about these stages from the buyer's journey perspective as the awareness, consideration, and conversion or decision stages. But for the sake of remembering that these stages do represent our relationship with our audience and they're not just metrics and numbers, I'm going to be using the terms connect, commit, and close to represent the stages of your relationship with your audience as they're moving through these stages. And as I mentioned, no matter where you are in your business readiness journey, even if you have a small budget and a small existing audience and they're not super engaged on social media yet, you can always be focusing on the first of these stages, which is going to be all about connecting with your target market. So let's get into what that's all about and how you can execute this in the next lesson.